So, welcome once again. We now want to dive deep in Bootstrap. So, of much help we will get from W3 schools. So, you can visit regularly W3 schools, go to Bootstrap. Of course, you need to pick the version of Bootstrap that you are building on. Then, from there, you'll be able to read more of how it works. So, very important thing here that I want to introduce is first, uh, the importance, or rather why use Bootstrap. I think we discussed that in a previous class, but again you may come to this site and read more of exactly the advantages that we get by building on top of Bootstrap. So if you don't want like to download the package and maybe set it up, you can just link it straight to the existing this link. This link will be able to still take you to the exact files and libraries. So, like for example, instead of downloading Bootstrap compiled packages, you can just create your HTML file and link straight using the link tag, but put this link there. So you may need that, and also instead of linking up to the JavaScript file that you did in a previous class, you can just pick this link and you'll have everything set to begin. So, like for example, assuming that I have a page here that I may want to add more or to introduce on my existing project. So this page, let me say it is called mission.html. So in such a case, then of course, after generating the boilerplate template, what you need more here is somewhere in the title to put that. So if it was not for these links, we could just do the normal way we do. But remember, locally, I had to link to my CSS folder so that I can be able to access this file called bootstrap.min.css. But because we still have an online link that has the same, then I can just use that, and of course I'll achieve the same result. Even on the scripting, we just need to link to this link. It will take you again to that specific JavaScript file that you want. So it is still the same. You'll still achieve the same results. Anyway, so I wanted us now today to discuss more of the grid system. Grid system helps you to be able to create so much, so nice, so much nice pages that you can maybe subdivide content across the page. Like for example, again on the Safaricom website, you realize that when you visit this website, for example, you may realize that a section like this one has been divided into four: one, two, three, four. Another section here has been divided into one, two, three. But now the first one here looks a bit bigger in terms of width as compared to the rest. If you come here again, there's some divisions. When you come here, so getting these subdivisions and still making them responsive in a way that when they are viewed on a mobile phone, then the subdivisions disappear and they scale downwards. To achieve that, then again, we only need to use Bootstrap. For example, this on this case, we have the first section, the second section, and the third section. So these are three sections. So grid, or rather Bootstrap, assumes that the entire width is made up of small columns of up to maximum of 12. So small 12 small columns from corner to corner. So anytime you want like to put some content together, then you need like to group the 12 columns in a way. Like for example, you can have a grouping of 3, then a grouping of 8. Sorry, a grouping of 9. Yeah, 3 plus 9 get into 12. Or you can have a grouping of 4. 4 times 3, of course, you'll get 12. Or you can have a grouping of 6 by 4 by 2. 6 plus 4, 10 plus 2, 12. So you make a decision of how exactly you want the grouping to be. Then from there you set the content. We do that by help of the existing CSS classes in Bootstrap. The other thing that we also need to understand is what else do we need apart from just the classes that we discussed, like the container class or the container fluid. If you remember, we said that class container makes some create some margin on the sideways, but class container fluid doesn't create some any margin. So apart from that, then we also need to do something on the headers. There are some libraries that we need to include there. So we may need one to understand why do we need to have these. HTML lang is en. I think that has been defined even here. So this means the language that we are using here is English. Document type is HTML. So those are some of the things that you may need to understand. Character set UTF. Of course, this is the character encoding that is able to support most of the other characters that we use around. So those are some of the important things. Now, another thing that is very important when it comes to Bootstrap is this line, meta name viewport. Viewport means the view of our website, what we can see. Content equals wind the device wind. This means that the content should fit across the device that is viewing it. That if you are viewing your website on a mobile phone, then it should fit there. If you are viewing your website on a desktop, again it should fit. If you are viewing it on a tablet, yeah, of course it should just scale automatically and fit there. Then initial scale 1, meaning the zooming level by default will be set to 1. So that is very, very important to understand. Anyway, so let us begin now our grid system. So again, this is what the grid defines. This is what the grid defines. It assumes the entire width of your device is divided into 12 small columns. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 12. Then you can always group these ones to achieve what you want. Like you can have a group of 4 by 4 by 4 equal, or you can have a group of 4 by 8, or a 6 by 6, or maybe the entire width. So let's see how we can do that. We can play around with our index page. We can play around with the index page. Like at this point, I may want the very first place where I'm going to place my navigation bar, where I am going to place my navigation bar. So I'm expecting the navigation bar to fit the entire width. So if the navigation bar is supposed to fit the entire width without divisions, then I will first do this. I'll create a div, and then I will give this div class container fluid if I don't want some margins on the left side or the right side. So class container fluid is my very first class to create. After that, I will create another div, and this div I will give it class row. I'll give it class row. Then this row is the one that now I am going either to do divisions or not to do the divisions. So if I don't want to do a division, I'll create another div, and then now this div I'll give it class container sorry, I'll give it a class call sm6. Now before even I define the class call sm6, I want you to understand what are those. Now we have the grid classes. These grid classes are help us to be able to write some code that will target different devices. If you are targeting large devices, then you will use class call XXL. If you are targeting extra large devices, then you will still do similar thing. If you are targeting large devices, medium, of course, medium MD class MD will target devices whose screen width is equal to or greater than 765, and class SM will target small devices whose screen is equal to or greater than 576. Most devices fall under this range. Most devices fall on this range. Yeah, so mostly you'll find developers using class SM because it targets these small devices and above. Okay, so how do we do? So here we just say class equals call sm, then we say 12 because we don't want to do divisions. So this means the entire width. So here we can say we will put a navigation bar here. We shall put the navigation bar here. So we learned how to create a navigation bar. So for this case, we are not going to write the code for navigation bar. We can just go straight to W3 Schools and then now Bootstrap and pick your nav bar. You pick navigation bar, Of course, it comes just the normal navigation bar that you learned. You can go down there and pick the last example. Well, last example, where is it? This one. So you can just come here, copy this, and paste inside that that navigation bar here. So just paste. Then from there, have a look at what you have achieved. So that is our first level. You can see we have put our navigation bar, and we may also need to know whether this navigation bar is scaling across devices. Of course, you can see it is scaled automatically. So that is okay. So next thing that we may need to do now is to make decision now for the rest of the content of our website, and again also change these links to suit what we want. Like now, kama kawaida, I may come here and decide. I'll just come here, decide the first thing here will be linked to our services. I come here, this will be linked to our about us page, and maybe this one will be linked to our mission, and maybe I'll link this one to, do we have any other thing? I have some more pages like contact, so I can just include another one more li. I can just include one more li to link to the contact us page. So that is that. Come here, say contact us. Yeah, something like that. So when you check what you've done so far, of course you should be able to get this. But remember, we haven't done the linking exactly, so we need to like remove this link to JavaScript void 0 and now type the right link. When people click services, where will they be taken? They'll be taken to services.html. When people click about, they will be taken to about.html. When people click mission, they'll be taken to mission.html. When people click contact, then contactors, they'll be taken to contact.html. When people click any of these links, then they should be taken somewhere. So we have done now the right linking, but of course now we haven't visited the other pages. So like here, if I click this, I'm taken to services, which is okay. When I click about, I'll be taken to about, which is okay. When I click contact, I'll be taken to contact, which is okay. Of course now I can also replace this is the logo. I can replace the logo part, this one, with now a real logo. Of course I don't have the logo. So for now, I can download the logo. I can decide to download the logo here. So I just need to come like online, get the logo, or rather maybe place my logo in some location. So let me go straight to desktop, to Teule Kinyozi. Of course, now this is a Kinyozi, so let me get a relevant logo. Barber shop logo. Barber shop logo. Let me go to photos and get just some logo for the purpose of testing. So save, go to your desktop, Teule Kinyozi, then you go here. I don't have a folder to place my images, so I can just come here, create a folder, call it image, then from there save my logo there. Okay, so when I come here, I am able to see my logo. It is in this folder called image. So that means at this point, then I can replace the wording and replace it with tag for image. img src equals img, this one, src equals, then I put my my I put my the link to my logo here. So link to my logo is a folder called image slash the picture itself. So there you go, there you go. I think we have, where is it? Here it is. So of course now I can customize the width and the height. I don't need this actually. This image has a lot of empty spaces. So maybe I can just go to the image itself and decide to edit. Yeah, at least so that it can fit well. So image, open this with either of your softwares. Let me open with Paint. I don't have a specialized software. Then I just do away with this empty space here. Let me scale so that at least I don't have much empty spaces. I just do something like that. Yeah, then now from there I save. There you go. So refresh this. Oh no, this is not fitting. Let me see. Did I really save? Oh, the image is not yet saved. The image is not yet saved. No, 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 no. The other alternative, you can still do the scaling using the width the attribute and the height attribute. So you can say maybe width equals, you define the width that you want. Let me say 300 pixels, and then maybe height equals, then you define the height you want. Let me say 50 pixels. You can still do that using, uh, yeah, of course. But now, if the image has some width, some empty space, you can see now it may not look well. That is why I wanted like to first remove the empty spaces, but it seems that my application here is not responding well. So let me see what could be the issue. Okay, so I think that is that, how to do the navigation bar. Of course, the most important thing is to understand how we are doing the placement. Then after that, we understand how to do the grid system. So the grid system is a very important virtue when it comes to web programming. Yeah. Okay, so that is that for now. Let us meet in the next class.